Good morning. There's so many of you here. Welcome. I'm Stacy Dawn. I am the president and CEO of the Clear Lake Area Chamber of Commerce, and you are at our March quarterly coffee. So since there are so many new individuals here, I just thought I'd share a little bit about how this goes. We'll get lengthier updates from the city, the EDC, and the school. From there, we will have a special report. Today we have our robotics team who is going to share some of the things that they have been up to and some exciting announcements. From there, we'll go to the rapid fire portion of the agenda, where we will give our chamber members the opportunity to give 2-minute updates. And given the length of the agenda today and the legislative briefing that is set to schedule at 9, we really need everybody to adhere to that short presentation window. So from a chamber perspective, since the last time we got together, we had our 75th anniversary annual meeting. It was a great event. There were about 200 of you who came to celebrate all of 2022's accomplishments and look forward to all of the exciting things that we're doing this year. One of those things was Color the Wind. Color the Wind was a great success. And one of the things as I've been talking to people about Color the Wind that they didn't realize is that the way this event works is we essentially house and put up 40 kiters to come and bring their kites. So while it's their hobby, they love to do it. They love to come and fly their kites. They do it because we are hospitable. We bring them, we feed them, we put them up in a hotel for 2 nights. And so it is a expensive event for us to put on, but you can see the economic impact of that event is just so far reaching. We even had restaurants downtown Mason City telling us that they were feeding our Color the Wind attendees, so that was really exciting. Looking ahead, we have Earth Day coming up. If you are interested, we are having a Green Expo Thursday before Earth Day right here in the Surf Ballroom. There's information about that on our website, as well as the 5 and 10K and Outdoor Fest that will happen on Saturday. And then after that is the triathlon. And we have been named the state championship race, which is really exciting. And we're looking forward to, we had a live stream with USA Triathlon this week, and they are just providing so much additional support in terms of making sure that our race continues to grow and be world class. So I'm going to keep my comments brief since we have such a full agenda, and I'm going to hand it over to Doug G., who will give an update on the Clear Lake Community School District.
Thank you. And I'll keep mine brief this morning. I'll tell you what, I can't believe it. We have less than 8 weeks left of school. So it's just amazing how it seems like I heard them always say, as you get older, time goes faster, and I never believed them, but I think it does. But, it's nice to finally start seeing some of the ice go out of the lake. I don't know when it's going to totally happen, but we'll see. Got a few things, really neat things happening. Obviously, I won't steal all their thunder, but I will tell you, this group here, we have 2 groups that have qualified for the World Championships in Dallas, Texas, which is a phenomenal feat. And so I'll let them talk more about it, but they've just been doing a phenomenal job, working really hard, them and Mr. Bowman, our robotics and computer science teacher. We had 10 teams we took to the state speech 2 weeks ago, and we had 7 out of those 10 that actually got a number 1 overall rating, which is also really phenomenal. That's another program that's continuing to grow. I think it's next week we have our first ever, our esports team is going to compete. So we've got a new esports team at the school. So that's a neat thing, because that really gets some of those kids that really have not been involved in activities, which is the more times we can have students connecting to the school and with other kids is really a huge thing. Last night, if you weren't there, we had a phenomenal track meet, indoor track meet at the Wellness Center. A ton of people. I don't know what the numbers ended up being, but there was a lot as you looked around and saw the suspended track completely, full of people. Just what a neat opportunity for our kids, one, to be able to have a track meet, because there's a lot of times since I've been here that our kids don't get a track meet until Drake. And so to be able to do that, and I really believe that Wellness Center had a huge part and how successful our track teams were last year. Winning the conference, both of them, placing in the top 10 in the state. And it was just a phenomenal way, an opportunity to show a few people around and show that off. And you think of the hundreds of people that came in there and get to see that facility and think, wow, what a neat thing. And I'll just share with you, I had an opportunity to show an athletic director who is from the metro area at one of our basketball games. And he's been around a long time. He was an athletic director and basketball coach. And he said, there isn't another school in the state of Iowa, not even in the metro area, that has a facility like this connected to their school that is this amazing. And that's a pretty huge compliment. So just a really neat thing. First week of April here, we'll be starting our ISASS, which is our state assessment. I know our kids are really looking forward to that. And so are our teachers. But, it's one of those things that you have to do them. You try to get the kids to take them seriously, but it is what it is. Next thing, I really want to send a huge thank you to the Clear Lake Police Department. And the way they work with our school and their involvement. I'm sure most of you are aware, the school had a swatting call on Tuesday morning. And just their response and how quickly they get there and help our school. They got the call at 9:40, and by 9:42, they were in our hallway. And I'll just tell you, it really sends a real, for me, my girls in the office said they never seen me move so quick. Because I got the call from Mr. Murphy that, that the police had called. So there was an active shooter, and we had 2 students shot in the restroom. And so me to take out of there, but the police department was there and just worked really diligently with us. And then they met with our administrative team yesterday to see what can we improve on. And I guess we're looking at as, thank God it was just a fake call, but more importantly as a drill to get better. And what are some things we can improve on to improve the safety? Because that's a worst nightmare for any school person or parent in the world to have something like that happen. So real quickly, and I'll kind of finish up here, but I know right now there's just a lot of things from education and legislation out there, and I'll tell you, I appreciate our legislators, and I know sometimes it kind of looks like educators and legislators are going back and forth at each other. I would never want to be a legislator. I don't want that job. I have no idea what it goes into it, but I know I don't want to do it because I know I have to worry about my number of people in Clear Lake. I don't even want to have to begin to worry about what happens in the entire state. And so I know they got a really tough job. And I don't always agree with some of the things, but you know what I do know is that I can only control what I can control. And what we're going to do as a school is what we've always done, is we're going to focus on the things that we can control. And number one, that's our attitude. And I got a saying that I say quite often to our teachers, and that is, there's very little difference in people. But that little difference makes a big difference. The little difference is your attitude. The big difference is whether it's positive or negative. And you got a choice every day to wake up and be negative about things and complain and worry about it, or you can focus on the positive things, the good things you got going, and you can work on that and you can control that. You can also control the fact that our mission statement is to ensure a high level learning for all students. And we're going to work on that every single day to meet the needs of every child. And what I do know is I've been in education for over 30 years. And I don't know, and I've never met a single person that's in education that doesn't give their absolute best every single day for kids. They work diligently, they work hard, they get up every day to do their absolute best. There's no teacher or no educator out there that says, you know what, as soon as I get paid more, I'm gonna bring out my best assignment, or I'm gonna do better. They bring it every single day. And they do everything they can for kids, and they're in it for the kids, and they're in it for the right reasons. And so they're going to continue to do that. They're going to do their absolute best. And so we're not going to wait for that pay. I also know that no teacher has all the skills, knowledge, or time to meet the needs of every student in their class. Okay, it's just not possible. But together, our staff together can meet the needs of all students. I don't know how many of you are familiar with John Hattie, who did a lot of work. He wrote a book called Visible Learning. But he did a meta-analysis on over 90 million students and what had the biggest effect on increased student achievement. And the number one thing was collective teacher efficacy. And really what that is, and so 1.57, which really is the equivalent of 4 years growth for an educator. What that means is teachers believing in their shared belief that they together can meet the needs of every single student, whether the student is disengaged or disadvantaged. That together they can do that. And so that's what our teachers are going to focus on, is what can they do together. It's all hands on deck. It's not just the teachers, it's administrators, the paraeducators, it's the nurses, it's the social workers. We're all in this thing together. And I'll tell you what we're going to do, and it's our promise to you guys as the community and the parents, is that we're going to do our absolute best for our students every single day to make sure that they learn at a high level and they're taken care of and they're safe, and that we do our best. Thank you for everything you do, because we couldn't do it without you either as a community, and I really appreciate the support. So thank you very much.
I really like the word about focusing on the positive, and that's one of the things I love the most about this job, is that there's so many people who are focused on the positive future for Clear Lake, and it just makes this job so much fun. So up next, Scott Fuller is going to talk a little bit about what's going on with the city.
Thanks, Stacy. So I'll do my best also to be brief. As Stacy mentioned earlier, got an important meeting with our state representatives following this, so I don't want to be the reason that's off track. So I'd be remiss also not, Stacy mentioned once again the annual meeting that took place earlier this year, and I'd be remiss not to once again thank the Chamber Board of Directors for your ongoing support of the city government. We received an award at that annual banquet, and it meant a lot to us, and in particular our mayor. So very, very important to us. Thank you. We appreciate everything you do for the community and for us. So in terms of where we're at here today, I don't think anything could be more relevant for a quarterly meeting here than the recent announcement that the SERP Ballroom was designated by the Iowa State tourism industry as the 2023 Iowa Tourist Attraction of the Year. So really a terrific accomplishment. Yeah, thanks very much. So, many of us have been living in the community for a long time, can remember back. It has not always been such positive things. There's been managerial struggles for a long time prior to the nonprofit being formed to oversee the management, the day-to-day operations of the ballroom itself. So that was really, in my estimation, the pivotal moment, the turning point when I think the ballroom has become its most successful. And so much credit goes to the owners of the SERP Ballroom, the nonprofit board of directors, and most significantly, Lori Leeds, hiring her as the executive director for the North Iowa Cultural Center and Museum. I think really put this institution on the path to success for the long term. So all these things are possible through. We had the meeting there in Prairie Meadows the other day, and we were about partnerships and collaboration, but relationships are equally as important to all of those things. And I think the relationships between the city government, the chamber, and the North Iowa Cultural Center Museum, and so many other nonprofits in this community are significant to our success. Would also have to talk about what's in the future for this area, the SERP district itself. I think everyone knows, probably Nelson has talked about it several times, that we received a really significant grant that is going to help us as a community reshape this entire district that we know as the SERP district. The state had a $100 million Destination Iowa program, and we were fortunate enough to make an application to one of the components of 4 divisions of that, outdoor recreation, tourism, economic development, and creative placemaking. And we sought funding through the creative placemaking component of that, which I think was the most difficult of those four buckets. And Clear Lake and Davenport, to my knowledge, are the only 2 communities that have successfully made an application to that program and received funding. So, and the components of that program, I think, were really exciting. We've got one division of that involves the lake connection between Clear Lake and the SERP Ballroom itself, the streetscape improvements in this entire area, as well as public art. That's about a $4.4 million component of that overall effort. So we've got RDG on board and a local group. Many here today are part of that local group steering committee to help put together all of that. So very, very exciting thing to be working on there. Some of the other things, obviously, the Music Enrichment Center, that's about a $6.5 million project. So going to be done in the original look of the historic surf ballroom that sat on the lake. So, 1940s Art Deco kind of style building with a rooftop observation deck. I think it's going to be really exciting there. We're in the process now. We're soliciting RFPs from the architects. Got one RFP proposal back. Next one is due next week. So we hope to be in a position at our April 3rd council meeting to make an award of contract to an architectural firm to start the design work on that project, do the design for the next 6, 7, 8 months, bid it over the winter and start construction on that about a year from now. So, and of course, the final component, maybe people are more excited about that than anything, would be the Oaks Hotel project. That's about an $11 million project to recreate the one-time Oaks Hotel that stood at that location back in the late 1800s. It was built, burned down in 1922. So to kind of reimagine, recreate that hotel at that location, I think very, very exciting. We've now brought on some help for that. That's a significant project, and for a city and a nonprofit to be working collaboratively to do that project, very, very unique. Now, that's not to say that there aren't nonprofits that don't own and oversee the operation of hotels. We don't have to look very far. The Park Inn right on the park is a similar model to that. They just didn't have the city as sort of the financier of that project. So there's only about 3 or 4 hotels in the state of Iowa that are owned by governments. We will be very much closely akin to those models. Storm Lake happens to be one of those as well. So we brought on an asset manager to help us with kind of a lot of the things that are going to be significant to that project. We'll have to make determinations on what type, if we want to go with a flag, for example, Marriott or Hilton or something like that. And there are just a number of key decisions that have to be made in that long-term, working with the project designer that we hope in the long run will pay dividend through efficiency. So we set the date for the public hearing on our FY24 municipal budget. So the tax rate is down about a nickel. And so we're at $9.65 per thousand. That's 5 times less than Mason City, by the way. They're down a penny. But so that's the 4th lowest tax rate in the state of Iowa. Again, we've kind of held that position for a number of years for communities that are 4,000 in population or higher. Very proud of that. And we also have one of the lowest levels of indebtedness, not only in the Midwest, but in the entire country. We have a borrowing capacity of about $60 million, and we've got about 3.5 on the books. Generally, most communities are in that 70% category. So to give you an example of Storm Lake, when they did their hotel project, they believed in it so strongly they took their indebtedness to 100%. But a very, very aggressive. I remember there was a group of us from Clear Lake had gone down to the one the state did down there in Centerville area, the kind of the hotel project down there, and there was a group of bankers, and Mark Hewitt and I and Tom Lovell, there's some others down there, and I got to talking to one of the guys on the phone from Storm Lake, and I started talking about their indebtedness, and he asked me what I did for a living, and I told him I was the city manager here, and he said, oh, no wonder, because people generally don't understand the significance of going to an all-in level like that on a borrowing capacity. So we're gonna get there, but not anywhere near 100%. So I don't want to take too much more time, but I want to. Stacy mentioned color the wind. I've been here for every single one of those events, and I think the chamber's taken that over here the last 3 or 4 years with the assistance of the days. Very helpful, I'm sure, but I think the resources that the chamber has at their disposal, the expertise for marketing, the staff, what a great job the chamber's done with that, taking it to an unprecedented level of success. I do want to also mention Libby. I forgot to mention her. part of that nomination process for the CERT ballroom involved, somebody had to make an application, a nomination for it. She did that. She reached out to me and asked for a letter of support. I'm sure she did that to others, and those things don't just happen. So thanks, Libby, for doing that. Probably nobody knows that, but nice job. And we're well aware that we're into our next season, pothole season. So we're trying to get as many as we can, but I'm sure we're going to miss some. There's about 1 million of them around, so don't be bashful about calling. So thanks a lot.
You said don't be bashful about calling. I heard it. All right, is Sean Arneson here? All right, hi, Sean. Sean is from the EDC. Chad is in Galveston, so I'm sure the weather there is much nicer. So Sean's going to give us a quick update regarding what's going on.
Thanks, Stacy. Again, Sean Arneson with the North Iowa Corridor. I would like to first start, as Scott alluded to, on behalf of the North Iowa Corridor, would like to congratulate the SURF on their award this week with the Outstanding Attraction Award. Kudos to Laura and the team here. And with the Destination Iowa activities that are going to be taking place in this neighborhood, what a great addition to that, this area and to the region. So congratulations to them. Yes, I will try to keep mine brief as well, Stacy. First, a couple in administrative activities within the corridor. We have just recently hired a workforce specialist as part of our team. It's going to be a shared position with NIAC. And Casey Royster is her name. She's going to be starting on Monday. Again, it's going to be shared between NIAC and ourselves. She will be basically responsible for beefing up our K-12 and business connection activities, as well as getting the students, introduced to the businesses so that they realize the opportunities that are available for career success here within the region. So, and then our next position that we are currently in the process of filling is our marketing and communication specialist. Hopefully we will be filling that soon. That will be, it was a shared position in the past, again with NIAC, but this one will be solely with the corridor. That individual will be responsible for our This is North Iowa campaign, as well as continuing to market the activities within the corridor and the successes that are going on within our region. So, and then one other administrative within the corridor, we are just starting our annual investor campaign. I wanted to let you know, many of you know Tim Putnam. He has joined us to assist us in our annual campaign. So he, along with our staff, will be reaching out to our current as well as new investors, hopefully new investors, to assist us as we continue to grow activities within the corridor. So his email, by the way, is partner@northiowacorridor.com. Feel free to reach out to him, or feel free to touch base with me following today, or reach out to Chad or myself and Tim following today's meeting. So wanted to share that. Our corridor annual meeting will be here at the SURF, June 22nd, 11:30 to 1 p.m. One other event that's going to be taking place this Saturday I want to mention was the Mason City Youth Hockey will be celebrating their 50th anniversary this Saturday at the Mason City Arena. As many of you know, there's been plenty of activity over in that arena, and it's great to have that facility. And we want to help promote and celebrate their 50th anniversary. As far as projects and activities, we have a number of ongoing projects in the works right now. Many of you are probably aware of them, but the EVCO manufacturing is continuing work at the former Shopko building. Hopefully beginning to do some work here in summer to build their street rod, golf carts, as well as other EV related vehicles and parts. The Shopko here, or excuse me, the Souk Up here operation is underway for their dryer manufacturing here in the former Serta. About 30 employees, and actually they produced their first dryer a couple weeks ago. So congratulations to them. Project Terrace, I think Chad has shared this before. It's a very large renewable fuels project that we have courted now for the last year and a half. We meet with them regularly on a weekly basis, and we remain their one of 3 viable locations for consideration for a new facility. We continue to work with them, and then we have another larger renewable fuels project that's focusing again on the South Mason City industrial area. As far as other project activity, because of our locale, our proximity to and our transportation network on I-35, the Avenue of the Saints, proximity to I-90, as well as I-80 to the south, we continue to get direct inquiries on potential warehouse and distribution facilities. And actually, we are currently working with one that is looking at either a Clear Lake or a Mason City locale for a very large warehouse distribution facility. I think it would be a great addition to the region. And then we have a number of other smaller ones that we are in the process of visiting with right now on potential opportunities within the region. So we continue to see that as a targeted industry, as well as the renewables that I mentioned earlier, and manufacturing as well. And to be honest with you, I just received a call yesterday on a out-of-state company that is looking to expand in the Midwest. They're currently on the East Coast, and they're looking at viable locations within the Midwest. And then when I reference the transportation network, that's the reason they're looking in this area in North Iowa. So that's how projects start. A number of these take a while to take place and come to fruition. So just wanted to share that as well. Yeah, it's another thing that we just started, and we participated in this probably about 8 years ago. We were in the first round of site certification through IEDA, Iowa Economic Development Authority, 8 years ago for what we call the Indian Head South certified site in South Mason City. We are in the process of beginning another site certification process on a large number of parcels in the Mason City area. So it is quite the undertaking, but it's a great marketing tool for us as an EDC to have a certified shovel-ready site for some of these projects that I referenced. So, and the last thing is the housing component within the EDC continues to be a major priority and a commitment for us to be involved with a number of housing projects, such as the Lake Time development here with the 16 homes and 8 twin homes, Emerald Edge development activity, moving forward with the recent approval of platting through the city of Clear Lake. The Talon River 2, their second phase project, is well underway. They've been very active even during this winter with their downtown project. And then we're also working on a few others as well. I did the dev development project in downtown Mason City as well. With that, I appreciate Stacy and the Chamber for allowing me to provide a brief update. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks, John. I'm sure everyone's excited to hear about the workforce development specialist. That continues to be something we hear a lot about. All right, we're going to shift our attention over to our robotics crew here. I'm going to adjust the live stream too. All right. So we're excited to have the Clear Lake Robotics team. A lot of your companies have been supporting the work that they're doing. As Doug G mentioned, they qualified for Worlds, which is really exciting. So I'm going to hand it over to Ryan, and he's going to share.
Thank you so much. This should only take about an hour or two of your time. So appreciate you all sitting patiently. Or 5 minutes? Okay. Well, I wanted to say thank you so much for being such a huge sponsor of all the school's activities. This is my second year here now at Clear Lake, and I previously taught in Humboldt for a lot of years. And it's a nice community, but I think we all know that Clear Lake is extra special. And, you go around the conference and schools look at Clear Lake and like, man, it would be awesome to teach there. So when I got the opportunity, I took it, and it's been awesome. So thank you for making the community what it is. These are a few representatives from our high school robotics team. We actually compete in 2 different programs. And the way robotics works is that every year there's a new game and a new challenge that is presented. And so I'll talk about the 2 programs separately. We have FTC, which stands for First Tech Challenge, and then VEX Robotics. The FTC challenge this year was to take these cones and place them strategically over these poles around the field. I didn't realize we wouldn't have a projector, but there's a animation online if you want to go to YouTube at some point and you can see it. There's a whole 12 by 12 arena for both of these competitions that these robots compete on. And they have 2 minutes to perform these tasks. So the more cones, it's kind of like a scoring event. The more cones you place, the higher the goals that you place them on, the more points that you get. And then there's all kinds of different challenges associated with how to make your robots function. Our school has been involved in robotics for about 7 years now, and we participated in the VEX Robotics competition this whole time. This is our first year competing with our FTC robot. Okay, now the reason we added that as a program this year was because the rules allow custom manufacturing, a wide range of any kinds of robotics or mechanical parts that you would want to make or produce or buy, where VEX is limited to just VEX. That presents its own challenges in terms of engineering with the limited set of parts, but this has really opened the door to custom manufacturing, 3D printing, CAD modeling that has really, and some artificial intelligence programming with the camera. It recognizes certain objects on the field, and the robot performs some tasks autonomously. The VEX challenge this year was basically to pick up those discs and play some frisbee golf with them. So shooting them across a 12-foot field and trying to aim at the disc golf thing. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll let you talk about how we engineered the robots. And then at the end of that competition, at the end of that game, the more space that your robot takes up, basically, the more of these field tiles that your robot is touching, the more points you get. And so they had to engineer some creative expansion mechanisms that could happen in 10 seconds and cover a 12 by 12 field. So I'll let them talk. What Bergen you want to talk about? This is Bergen Klaehn. I'll let him talk about how we engineered the robots.
So we put a lot of time into engineering these robots. So we started this year and we got the FTC challenge in, I believe, mid-September. And so from there we started modeling and designing things that we believed would best complete this task. And we're a first year team in FTC, so we were just hoping to, have a somewhat good season. This robot hasn't been out in a while, so it might not be the best because it's been a while since we've tuned it up. But that's what it's designed to do. There's an even higher goal that we'll stack on at a competition. But our design process, we start out by sometimes scatting it or sometimes just brainstorming and building things. And from there, we build it into a large physical model. We have a decent amount of custom parts on this year's robot, and we hope to have even more next year. For our first year in this program, we were pretty successful. We went to states, and we had the highest autonomous point average, I believe, in the whole state, which for first-year team is very rare. So that's what our FTC bot is designed to do. And then now we can talk about our Vex. Do we want to talk about Vex bots? Our Vex bots have a very similar design process. So our Vex bots, since we are limited to certain materials, we have to adhere to those constraints. And so we start these robots with just a bunch of wheels and C channels and screws and standoffs, and we have to model them from there. What? Oh, okay. So we pick up disc. Now this is very different from a competition floor, so it's hard for us to fully intake disc. But we'll shoot the disc into the goal. And so this bot is currently in the process of being built to compete in a competition in Texas because we qualified for the World Championship, which is kind of cool. And we did that by winning the state tournament. So we have a team that's a state champion. And so these robots, we got the competition a lot earlier than FTC. We've known what this competition is since, I believe, since April of last year. And we spent a lot of the summer designing and prototyping. We went to multiple different competitions throughout the year in both VEX and FTC. In VEX, we started the year in August, and we went to a competition at the Mall of America. And at the Mall of America, what? Okay. The controller on that one's broken. He normally brings a different controller. So we started the year by going to a competition at the Mall of America. We did okay there. Will did a lot better than my team did. I'll just say that much. And then from there, Will competed at Southland. We both competed at Mount Vernon, and then we both competed at the state championship where my team was able to go and win the tournament. And from there, we qualified to Worlds.
What's that? Oh yeah, you can show off his expander. So it's a pneumatic expander. It has a pneumatic trigger on it, so there's an air tank on his robot that when he fires the button, pneumatic releases the elastic rubber bands that shoot the string out. These kids spend hours and hours and hours and hours working on this. And it's often really difficult for us to get it out into the community and show off what we do because competitions are all around the state. We were able to share some live streams. I don't know if anybody took part in watching that, but we shared some live streams of the events that we were a part of. But we're pretty excited that next year we're hosting the FTC League Championship here in Clear Lake at the high school. So that's going to be exciting. One of the things I'm going to pull this up for Kaylee, but one of the things that First Tech Challenge or the first program really emphasizes is engaging these students in their community and forming community partnerships. Then those partnerships can be financial support, they can be engineering, programming support. And that was kind of the one area this year that was our weakness because it was our first year. We had it was like drinking from a fire hose to try and learn a whole new robotics system. But the area that we were less strong in was, strong community partnerships. Now we know that we have a strong community that backs us, but actually having a mentor come in and say, hey, have you thought about engineering this way? Or a company that has some manufacturing abilities that we don't have at the high school that can, make a custom milled part out of aluminum, or programming and IT kind of companies that say, hey, maybe you should structure your program in certain classes and do it this way so that it is robust and easily changed. That's the kind of community partnership that we're trying to foster here. And the other part of it is that they want the students to engage in spreading STEM awareness and inspiring the next generation of robotics engineers or anybody in the science or technical field. So Kaylee is going to talk about what we did this year and what we have upcoming. And then that's another area that, if you have a great idea for how we could help you out or be involved with your group, we're more than welcome to listen and take part.
So one of the big parts about our FTC game are our outreach efforts. So this past summer, we did Camp Invention. This is basically a camp for a bunch of elementary school students that older students and adults get to mentor and teach about the STEM program. So they had a bunch of different challenges, and they had to use the design process to get through them. And in the end, they always tested their design. And we just had a lot of fun. We had about 23 students that we were mentoring through this. And we just got to teach them and influence them to join STEM in the future. Another thing we did this past summer was Thursdays on Main. We had a presentation and a small game where students could earn candy, and we got to talk to the adults and pursue them to join STEM in the future too. We also did a lot of presentations this year. So we went to our elementary school students, and we got to influence them to join STEM too. We just gave them a couple demonstrations of both these games here. And we also mentor our middle school teams. So we all are in the same robotics lab, and we meet 3 times a week. So we get to mentor them through the process while learning how to go through the design process. And by us being in the same room, we can teach them. We also did a Rotary Club and a Noons Lions presentation.
What? Okay, I got it. All right, so that was a little bit of what we have done. Bergen mentioned a little here. I would like to have a couple slides here. The competitions that the VEX robots competed in, before the school year started, they competed up at the Mall of America. They competed at Southland. Will competed at Southland, and that's up by, is that up by it's up in Minnesota, right? Yeah. And then they both competed at the MSU Mankato tournament. All of our teams traveled to Mount Vernon to compete at their tournament, the middle school and high school teams. And then we had 3 teams compete at the Iowa VEX state championships. Bergen's team, Will's team, and one of our middle school teams actually qualified for the state championship. Our FTC robot, we actually have a kind of a different structure. We compete in what's kind of like a conference. We have a league of teams that are all around, within 100 miles of each other. And we have several kind of league meets, which would be kind of similar to conference games, where if you don't win a conference game, it's not necessarily the end of your season, but you learn about what your weaknesses and strengths are. So we have 5 league meets. We hosted one of those meets this year in December. Our league championship was in Fort Dodge, and that was in January. That qualified us for the state qualifying tournament. That was in Norwalk in February, and then we also competed at the Iowa state championships. I have a list of results and awards here that I wish you could all see, but I'm going to read them off because it is quite impressive. First of all, we're probably one or maybe two high school groups of robotics kids that compete in both of these competitions each year. And for these kids to have achieved the level of success they have in both competitions is quite outstanding. For our first year of FTC, we were the league tournament champions. And we also won the Inspire Award, which I've coached robotics for about 12 years and I've never had a team win an Inspire Award. The Inspire Award is the top judged award, meaning the best overall robotics program. The team that most represents the mission of FIRST and in the design and the engineering of the robot. So that was a huge accomplishment as a first-year team. We were state qualifiers. At state, we were in the state division semifinals. And like Bergen said earlier, we had the highest average autonomous score of any team in the state. Yep. Okay, we'll be. Let me finish. Okay. I got the music started playing. For VEX, Bergen's team had the judges award and won the state. There, he's the state tournament champion. That qualifies him for Worlds. Will, at the Mount Vernon tournament, his team won the Excellence Award, which is like the Inspire Award for that program. And our middle school team also is a Worlds qualifier. So they have awesome results. And my last little push, how can you help? If you have opportunities for these kids to help mentor them in their engineering, outreach opportunities. If you're hosting an event and you think it would be a good fit for some robotics kids to come and help, we're looking for that. And of course, I hate to ask, but we're also looking for financial support. We have an expensive Worlds trip coming up. The registration alone is $1,200. So between 2 registrations and travel, you can do some math on that. And then, just ongoing support of our program. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Ryan. I'd like to point out that the students here are all sophomores, so the future for robotics is really, really bright. And it's also very brave for them to come and speak, and I think they used less so's, and likes than most of us do. So, case in point. All right, if you are in the new employees and promotion section of our agenda, I'm going to invite you to come stand up over here so we can move on to the rapid fire portion of our agenda. Rapid fire portion of our agenda. And if you could keep your presentations today to, a minute or so, we'll make sure that we honor everybody who's requested to participate today. So first I will invite Kay. Is Kay here? Oh, Kay is not here. All right, so we are moving on to our friends from Athletico, and you guys can just pass the mic down. The white X there.
Right. Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Fisher. I'm the facility manager at Athletico here in town. It's my pleasure today to introduce our newest physical therapist, Briley Downing. She's doing a great job and will be a great resource for this community. I'll let her tell you a little bit about her background.
Hi, everybody. As Chris said, I'm Briley. I got my bachelor's in science degree from Northwest Missouri State. I met my husband there, and then I went on to get my doctorate in physical therapy from St. Ambrose University. While we were in the Quad Cities, my husband managed 3 gyms there. So when we wrapped up in the Quad Cities, we did not take the decision lightly on where we wanted to land. We were really looking for a community that offered a good school district, events, activities, and just an all-around general community that supported itself, right? So when we found Clear Lake, we knew it was the spot where we wanted to be. The Wellness Center was a big reason for that. My husband's working there now, but just if you guys had any thought in your mind, like, was the Wellness Center worth it for bringing young couples to the community? We're an example of that. It absolutely was. We think it's a huge benefit to the school and to the community. As a physical therapist, I love it. I love encouraging patients to get to that Wellness Center. So thank you guys for supporting that. Matt, again, huge fitness guy. He's at the Wellness Center. I'm big into fitness. I have a huge passion for physical therapy. I believe genuinely movement is medicine. I want to get people from where they're at to where they want to be. The Athletico team that we have here in Clear Lake is phenomenal. I personally was really drawn to the open, fun, and team environment that they have. So I look forward to working there, helping people get healthy again, and being a positive impact to this community. So thank you.
We're going to keep moving fast. I'm Brooke Bemler from the Papa John SBDC out at the Nyack campus. On behalf of Candy Cargens, who couldn't be here, who is the director of the Papa John Center, I want to introduce our newest employee, who is the director of entrepreneur programming and client success, Ashley Page.
Hello, everyone. I'm a month in now, so it's been great. I was born and raised in Mason City. I have been in the Clear Lake area pretty much all my life. I went and got my associate's and then my bachelor's from Nyack and then UNI in accounting, so I have an accounting background. I had an accounting firm for about 9 years before I went into finance for 6. And now here I am to hopefully get some education and some workshops to our small businesses. And then I also help with counseling with the SBDC.
Out of order too. Hi, I'm Sarah DeBoer and I'm with Sarah Gordo County, Iowa State University Extension and Outreach, and I'm the director there. We serve all Iowans in Sarah Gordo County, and I wanted to introduce Marie Maroon. She's on board for being our K-12 outreach and community healthy eating educator. What a mouthful. And she and her family reside in Mason City. And the most important thing about her position is that this is a shared position between Healthy Harvest North Iowa and Extension. And we're excited. Okay, thank you.
And as I mentioned in Altoona, I know the power of a microphone, so I elbowed my way in just to thank each and every one of you for your support. We were honored to have been chosen as the 2023 Iowa Tourism Attraction of the Year. And the words positive momentum, I think, were maybe coined by Scott earlier this week in a quote somewhere. And that's really true of what's happening in our neighborhood, and we couldn't do that without all of you. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out Paul Stevenson, one of our board of directors. He and the guys alongside of him, along with the Snyder family and the community, really have supported the venue. As I've mentioned before, the pandemic really terrifies somebody in my shoes when you sit down and really hammer out the numbers and realize that without the community's support and the gathering place, we wouldn't be here. So cheers to another 75 years. If anybody had done the math, 1948 is when we opened our doors on July 1st. So look for many more wonderful things to come. Thank you for all of you and your support, and cheers to the next one.
Congrats, Lori, in the surf ballroom. To keep it quick, I'm Josh Thompson, a Vice President of Business Banking at Clear Lake Bank and Trust. I'm here to introduce Ryan Van Ostrander, who joined our team in January this year as a credit analyst in our department. Ryan's a graduate from Northwestern College in Orange City, Iowa. Prior to joining Clear Lake Bank and Trust, he was an analyst at an accounting firm in Lincoln, Nebraska, where he's from. He and his wife recently relocated to North Iowa. So please welcome to our community.
Good morning. My name is Ann Flynn. I'm a Vice President and Trust Officer at Clear Lake Bank and Trust. This morning I'm here to introduce Morgan Smunk. Morgan was recently promoted to Trust Operations Officer at Clear Lake Bank and Trust. Morgan is a native of Garner, where she continues to live with her husband Derek and their son Cooper. Morgan came to Clear Lake Bank and Trust back in 2015 as a student intern. We were lucky enough to snag her after her graduation at Iowa State University to come to work with us in the trust department. She's done a tremendous job, and I look forward to seeing her grow in her career. Thank you.
Thanks, Ann. Good morning. My name is Mark Young. I work in the business banking department at Clear Lake Bank and Trust. It's my pleasure this morning to introduce Mike Bloomingdale. Mike joined us back in January. He is located in our downtown Mason City office as a commercial lender. I'm very excited to have him on board. Mike comes to us with about 12 years banking experience, the majority of those in the Des Moines area. He relocated back here about 3 years ago with his wife, Courtney. They have 2 young boys and are expecting a third. So he is a very busy guy, but graduate of the University of Iowa. And again, anytime we can attract talent like Mike, we're very excited to have him on our team. So join me in welcoming Mike.
Good morning. I'm Corey Frine from the Community Health Center of Mason City. Just really quickly, I think the concept of a community health center is still relatively new to North Iowans. Community health centers are nonprofit organizations, and we're very lucky to have one of only 13 here in North Iowa. We accept all patients and serve all demographics of folks, but what makes us unique is that we would never turn anybody away for care. We offer behavioral health care and medical care and dental care. And something that I just always really like sharing, and I'll share with this group, is that for every dollar invested in community health centers in Iowa, there's a return of $4.38. So big economic impact in Iowa, and we just really strive to try to get people feeling their best so that they can live their best lives. So I am happy to announce that we're fully staffed at our health center. We have 3 brand new providers, one of them being Tara Lee, who is our brand new medical provider, Tara Lee Jackal, and then some of you might know Dr. Zach Lindquist. He's a dentist from the Clear Lake area, and he sees patients of all ages. And then we also have Brian Erzman here with us today, and I will let him introduce himself.
Thanks for having me. My name is Brian Erzman. I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner. I specialize in children and young adults, but I can see clients of any age. I came here from Des Moines, Iowa, lived there all my life, spent the last 9 years at the VA of Central Iowa, got my master's from Walden University. That led me to Mason City. So I just want to end with, if you have a child or know a friend, family member, or if you yourself are struggling, just not living your best life, reach out. There is help available.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Mark Dodd. I'm the CEO at One Vision. I have a couple of people to introduce new to our development department. If you're not familiar with One Vision, particularly our development department oversees all of our communications, marketing, events, volunteer coordination and recognition, and then all of our fundraising through charitable giving, sponsorships, and grant writing. And so the first person I'm here to introduce is Janet Johnson. Janet is our new Chief Development Officer, so she oversees the entire department. If you haven't had a chance to meet Janet personally yet, you will in the coming months. She's been very busy getting out into the community, introducing herself, making those connections, those relationships. And then the other person is Chelsea Civarelli. Chelsea is a communication specialist and particularly specializing in the area of graphic design and video communications and those things. So please welcome them to the community and to the organization.
Good morning. We're from First Citizens Bank in Mason City. We work in the home loan center there. My name is Kelly Rush. We have Dominique Lagout, that works in our department, and we just recently hired Abe Hackman.
Thank you for having us today. Appreciate that. Excited to be here. Thanks for the Clear Lake community for welcoming us, and really impressed with First Citizens. And Kelly's been there a long time. He doesn't want to say how many years, but I was at a previous bank for a long time, but I'm excited to be at First Citizens. That's a really good story. Just like a lot of our banks, a lot of our communities, a lot of our successful business owners in town, OJ has built a great deal, great bank, and so very thankful to be there. Thank you, guys.
All right, if you are in the special awards update section of the agenda, I invite you to come over and line up. Kelly, do you want to stay up here? Okay. All right, Kim. The white X, please.
Hi, my name's Kim Boyd. I'm the property manager at Glen Oaks Community. For those of you that don't know who we are part of the One Vision portfolio. Glen Oaks Community consists of the terraces townhomes, which are for purchase, and the Timbercrest apartments, which are for rent, which is where I primarily am. For the third year in a row, we wanted to announce that we won the 2023 Senior Living Award through senioradvisor.com. The reason why this one is such a great award is because it comes from our prospects, our families, our visitors. They vote on us. In all 3 years, we have been at a 5.0 rating. So we're pretty proud of this award. So thank you.
Hi, I'm back up here again. So we're with Saragordo County Extension and Outreach, and I really needed to focus in on Nicole Lidell today because she won a state award in Extension. And if you aren't familiar with Extension, Extension has so many different branches, and we are huge, and this is a huge thing. There's like 5 of them given out total. So Nicole has only been with us since November of 21 here in Saragordo County, and she won an Excellence in Partnerships to Iowans. Her focus is mainly on adult nutrition classes, and so she has partnered, and really the highlight of her time here is that she partnered with Mason City Alternative School and is helping those kids know how to buy and live and eat healthy, and we're really, really excited about her continuing her journey with us. So congratulations, Nicole.
Hi everyone, I'm Kativa Weitzel. I'm the marketing manager at Pritchard's. I'm not on the agenda, going a little rogue, but I'm here representing the Pritchard's family, and we just wanted to make sure you guys saw our announcement that we are partnering with the USA Wrestling. We're one of their partners for the next 3 years, and we're also the title sponsor of the U.S. National Championship that's in Las Vegas, Nevada. Their program represents over 250,000 students and athletes, and wrestling is very important to the Pritchard's family. It runs in their blood, and it instills like a really great work ethic and discipline, and it really gets people prepared for the workforce beyond. So that national partnership is in Las Vegas at the end of April, and it'll have students of all ages getting ready to be part of the Olympics. So we were just really excited to announce that, and you'll see it trickle into our community as the summer goes on.
Hi, I'm Christina with Charcuterie and Lake Lemonade. So we just wanted to announce that we are picking up this next week a very bright yellow food vending trailer that we're super excited about. It will mean that we can do more events, especially the ones that have different weather, like Color of the Wind and Harvest Fest. And it also means that we'll have some different menu items. I'm not going to announce them all today, but what's very on brand with us and our love of cheese is there will be gourmet grilled cheese as an option. So we're excited about that. We've been working with wedding venues and expos and building relationships so that we can do bigger events. We've done weddings from sizes from 75 on up to 300, and we are super excited about those. We have our workshops are in full swing, so we have a full calendar of those right now, but we are doing our first kids workshop this weekend. It's a private one. It's a birthday party, and so we're super excited to offer more options if you've got bougie kids like ours. And we've all, this past summer, we also did some in-home private workshops that were more like interactive demos. And we're going to continue offering those as well. We have been working really hard, just sort of pushing our dream forward. So we're also working on our commercial kitchen that's on our property. We're installing a second kitchen. So if you know anybody that needs commercial kitchen space for rent, we will have that. And we just wanted to say thank you very much to Brooke and Ashley at the Papa John Center and Ken at MBT Bank for helping us move forward with our new fun ideas.
We're just going to keep on rolling. So if you are a new member or an events and things of interest, go ahead and get lined up over here.
Good morning, I'm Melissa Steffes, and my husband Rob and I are the co-owners of Scooters Coffee here in Clear Lake. We purchased the store a couple of years ago from the Scooters Corporation, and yesterday Scooters celebrated their 25th anniversary. We have been franchisees for the last 5 years. We also own the stores in Mason City and Charles City. And with me today, I brought our local staff. We are looking for community partnerships. We want to engage in the community and partner with you. So if you have something that we can partner on, we would love to help you. I'll introduce my staff now.
Hello, I am Candace Assman, and I am the regional manager of 5 stores. And I have 2 stores with me here today. I have Clear Lake and Mason City.
And I'm Jill. I'm the Clear Lake manager. Been here since July and new to Iowa.
Hi, my name is Caleb Pratt. I am the store manager at the Mason City Scooters, and I just moved here from Minnesota not too long ago. So excited to be here and really like being part of the community.
I'd just like to say thank you to the Chamber for having us here today and inviting us to be your host for the quarterly coffee. I was 10 years old when the movie La Bamba came out, so it is so cool to be in the surf ballroom. Thank you.
I'm scared. You should be scared. You gave me the microphone. I am so excited to be back with such a cool group of people. For those of you who don't know me already, I'm Emily Guineberg. My husband, Jeremy Guineberg, was here with Charlie and then was like, this is not the right setting for our 2-year-old. So he jetted, but I just wanted to introduce myself. Previously, I was working with Mason City as the Main Street director, and then have also done some a lot of years in event planning and private country club business, but we recently started our own health and wellness coaching business. It's a transformational health and wellness program that is literally saving lives globally. And we are so honored to be able to share this program with anybody that needs it. Recently, we met some really cool people, a girl that lost 100 pounds so she could donate a kidney to her brother so that he could live, a war veteran that was in a wheelchair and is now able to use prosthetics and walk instead of live in his wheelchair. So all kinds of incredibly inspiring stories going on all over the world with our new business. And other coaches that are just like us. If you need a coach, call me. And I'm also excited to announce that I have joined the Chamber to become the new Champaign 5K race director. So we are looking for sponsors and volunteers. If you want to sign up and hang out with some cool kids, drink champs. I'm working on the shambong. Stacy said no. I'm still going for it. If you have not seen one, Google. It's like a bar party. And I also want to take the opportunity to say, you guys on the robotics team over here, wow, I'm so impressed by what you guys are doing. That is so cool. You could be anywhere all summer out in the sun on the lake, but you guys are doing some really amazing things. And how cool is it that we have it right here in Clear Lake? We are so blessed to be part of this community. Jeremy and I love it. We're spreading it with whoever wants to hear. We've invited everybody to come and stay with us. I gotta go because Stacy's like, Emily, don't give her the microphone again.
All right. I don't see Cameron here, so I'm just going to jump into the events and things of interest. Again, I'm Ashley with Naya Papajan. We have two things coming up. We have a transition business workshop on April 20th. That's like your long-term plan of how do you sell or transition out of your business, which is kind of a 10-year plan. So it's a good start, lots of information, and it's a lot of food for thought too. So it's a good workshop. It's free. It is April 20th at NIAC. And then we also have our Youth Entrepreneurship Academy coming up in June. It's for all high schoolers. It's a week-long free workshop that they get to come do. So if you have any kids or know of anyone in high school, please let us know and send them our way.
I too am back. We have lots of things going on at One Vision. We have our 10th annual Walk-a-Block. It's the Jay Brooks Walk-a-Block. It is for autism awareness. We're looking for teams. So if you'd like to put together a team can be one person, two people. It can be whatever you want. You just go to jbrookswalkablock.org and sign up. It's $15 for adults, $10 for children. You can raise money. There's prizes for teams that rate at different levels to raise money, but you don't have to just come out and really help us spread the word about children's autism. The other thing, we have our Thrift Solutions Recycling Center, which you're going to start seeing that mobile van all over. We have Earth Day. We'll be at the Expo. We'll be at Thursday on Main and at the Farmers Market. And our recycling center has saved 1.1 million pounds of stuff that would go into the landfills. So our recycling center is awesome. If you think that you have something that you want to donate, bring it out. We'll find a use for it. So.
Good morning, I'm Melissa with Habitat for Humanity, and just here to let you guys know about the Hammers and Heels event that's coming up on Thursday, May 4th, right here at the Surf. We had to move here last year because we outgrew our previous facility. It's a lot of fun. It's a construction fashion show for those of you who have not been. We have 15 teams right now that are making designs made out of construction materials. They strut their stuff on the stage, and it's a lot of fun. We have live auction items, silent auction items. The big live trip this year is going to be a trip to Napa Valley with some private wine tastings at some wineries there. So a lot of fun. And then we also are looking for more auction items. So there's some flyers on the table. Thanks, Rachel. And then there's a little extra, I'll leave some on the counter, but we do need some more auction items. If anybody is willing to donate, we'd appreciate it. We are really busy right now. We're finishing a house in Clear Lake, just about a block from the high school, for a woman who works at Mercy. She's a tech, hard worker, 3 kids, wonderful woman. She and our families pay for their homes. They're not free. They give hundreds of hours of sweat equity to help with their projects, help in the community. We are working on our 54th, 54th, and 55th homeownership projects right now, and we have 8 more planned in the next 3 years. We do home repair projects, aging in place to help seniors stay in their homes. We always need volunteers. We still have some sponsorship opportunities as well, but the tables are selling fast. So please come to Hammers and Heels on May 4th, and thanks for your time.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Dan Schutneck. I'm with a ministry called Youth for Christ here in Clear Lake, and we're super excited to be hosting our annual fundraiser called Comedy Cafe. It's going to be right here 3 weeks from last night. So we're going to be right here at the Surf. We're so grateful for everybody's help in sponsoring the event and also just making it a huge success. This is year 7 for us in the community, and I so appreciate what Superintendent G shared about teachers being positive in a really hard time. This is a hard time to be an administrator, to be a teacher, and especially to be a teenager today. So there's ways you can help with the event. That would be if you could consider taking this flyer, which is at your table, and putting it up at your place of business. I've seen a ton of them around town. Thank you so much to everybody who's posted them around town. If it's not in your business, would you consider just taking it and just putting it up in your window? That'd be a huge way to help. Another way would just be to come, just to attend the event. You can get seats at comedycafe.org. It's a free event. Generous sponsors provide for it financially so that it can be free for everybody in the community. So we're grateful for that. And I think if you want to get involved and engage in the event, awesome. One thing we would love for you to encourage teenagers in your life would just be to give them affirmation, attention, and love, because it is hard to be a teenager today. And the currency that kids use today is not money, it is attention. That's what they seek and really thrive on today. So could you give a teenager some positive attention in your life today? That'd be a huge way to help the community and bless it. Thanks to the Chamber staff for being on the task force. You guys have been a huge help in helping us promote the event. One thing that we're super excited about the event is our MC, Doug Took. He's from Renovo here in town, a great business that makes amazing movies in the community. You guys would just be blessed by being in his presence to hear him share. The guy's an amazing communicator, has a huge heart for kids, and is going to do a great job emceeing the event. I never would have met Doug if I wouldn't have been in Lake Leadership. So if you haven't done Lake Leadership, do it. It is so worth it. Thanks, everybody.
Good morning. I'm Becky Dornbush from Central Gardens, and our season is quickly approaching. We'll be opening in 5 weeks, and to open, we will have to get busy and start some of the season garden work. I'm here today to let you know that we also are looking for volunteers. Our retired volunteers that have helped us for many years in maintenance are now retiring, and we welcome you to join us as a volunteer. Maybe you have 2 hours to share, or maybe you know someone who would like to do a little gardening. We would love to have them. They can check with us on our website or contact me today. We have started a new Central Gardens membership benefit, and we are part of the American Horticulture Society. And every one of our members now receives a free pass to 245 gardens across the United States. Many of them are here in Iowa. We've had people that have visited Florida gardens, California gardens this summer and this winter, and all they needed to do was to show their membership benefit. So we would love to have all of you be a member of Central Gardens. Join us as a corporate member or individual. And I did want to say thank you to all of you who are already members.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Carrie Tisdall. In my spare time, I'm one of the race directors for Clear Lake along with Trish. And I stand up here often and talk about that, but I wanted to particularly highlight our youth splash and dash that we'll be having the Friday night before the race. So we're only allowing 100 to sign up this first year, and we're pushing that half full mark. So I wanted to reassure you and let you know that it's a very safe environment. If your child wants to try it, but maybe isn't comfortable in the lake, we're allowing life jackets. There'll be life jackets there for them to wear. It's a participatory event, so we're not chip timing them. It's going to be a very encouraging, safe, and kind of soft intro to multi-sport. So we do need volunteers. Everybody needs volunteers, right? For both Friday and Saturday night, but it's going to be something to see. The chamber staff took it upon themselves to order flamingos and ducks for the turn buoys in the lake. So it's going to be a really fun, adorable thing for kids to participate in and, empower them and really get them introduced to that healthy multi-sport lifestyle. So I encourage you to sign up soon. It will fill. Thank you.
Hi, Corey Frine with the Health Center again. I just want to share a little bit about our upcoming fundraiser that we have going on April 1st, April Fool's Day. It's a Saturday. This is our inaugural fundraiser, and I'll be honest, we put it on in about 3 months. But I'm newer to my position at the Health Center, but not new to fundraising in this area. So I knew that people would receive the call for action well, and lots of you have out here, so I just want to say thank you for your sponsorship, for chatting with me, for donating silent auction items and all of that. But it should be a really fun night. It is going to take place in the Anderson event room at the Mason City Chamber, the 3rd floor. And we have a comedian. His name's Adam Grabowski. He's from America's Got Talent, and Simon Cowell actually liked him. So he's really funny, and he's a mental health advocate and kind of incorporates that into his bit, so he was the perfect fit for us. The event is called Funnies and Fajitas. We're having fajitas from Las Palmas, which are always good, and of course then margaritas. We have a silent auction, a dessert auction, and our silent auction goes live online today. So I left a stack of flyers over there if you would like to grab one. Please feel free. I think I only have like 7 tickets left. So if you'd like one, come and talk to me after. I have them with me. But again, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for your silent auction donation.
Good morning, everybody. You thought you were done. We're not on the agenda, but here we are. My name is Gerald Potachik. I'm the president of the Iowa Parrot Head Club. Along with me this morning is Larry Lehman, our vice president. We had to get up a little early to leave Cedar Rapids and make it here in time. We're so happy that the Chamber's letting us come talk to you. This is our 3rd time. Especially happy with Lori Leitz and Shane Cooney for taking a chance with us in 2018 when we had our first Island Fever showcase here at the Surf Ballroom. They thought, these guys don't know what they're doing. They're going to make this a flop. But so far, both in 2018 to 2021, we're averaging about 700 attendees. And if anybody doesn't know what trop rock music is, it's a genre, probably the most famous one is Jimmy Buffett. Our music is the lay back, wish you were laying on a beach somewhere with margarita in your hand. I'm Bohemian, so I talk a little fast, sorry. And I was raised in Garner, so we had a good time in 2018. People came back in 2021, even fighting through the pandemic a little bit there with that one. We're here for our 3rd one this Labor Day weekend. We have over 50 artists traveling in from all over the country, Texas, Florida, we have California. And not only the artists coming, they'll be on the stage, surf performing. We had the first steel player play in 2018 on the surf stage. So if you ever like music with steel drums. And so we got people coming, we're having a good ticket sale so far this year. We're expecting 700 plus attendees coming. A lot of them are getting to be our age, retirement age, so a lot of them have a lot of expendable income that they've put into the community the last 2 events, between places to stay and spending around town. And if you'll see us Labor Day weekend, we come in Thursday night, we have a welcome party up in a venue uptown, and Friday during the day, we'll have musicians around town Friday on September 1st. And those are all free to anybody. If you're around, want to hear some good music, stop in. You'll see a bunch of us. We had a little trouble in 2021. We only had the police on us one time. We had musicians at the brewery. He brewed a special brew for us. And we didn't realize that don't sit past the sidewalk. So we were pushed in a little bit. But we now know we can abide by the laws a little bit. So we'll get by. And hopefully, I hope I can work with the police this year. Friday night, our headliner is a band called the Blues Brothers out of Chicago. And they bring the Bluesmobile with them. So we've had them before do an event, and we've had the police chase them around the parks and stuff then. And if we can try and get that done, we're going to try and work with them, see if we get something done again. And they're a good time. They're like an 11 or 13 piece band, so if you can't come the whole weekend, we'll try and make it for a Friday night. It should be a good time. So there's folders on your thing. If nothing else, if you can take the flyer out of it, hang it up in your business, and we can always use a little support, if not monetary. If you have a business that a food or coffee or some sort of business that these people that are traveling in could use for a couple of days, feel free to get a hold of us. We'll put an ad on our website, on our Facebook page. Feel free. We'd be happy to do it because we have a great time coming to Clear Lake. We can hope we can keep this event going. It's every other year. And have I got time yet? You want to say something, Larry?
Sure. That's the only way to get them to be quiet. Obviously, we would like to get some sponsors. We're all looking for donations and things as well. If you can donate as a business, it'd be awesome. If not, please attend our event. Buy tickets for your family, your employees, customers, whatever. It's a great time. You'll have a great time with us. Hope to see you there. Cheers.
And Island Showcase Fever always makes a large donation to a charitable organization at the end.
Yes.
Oh.
The last two events, we presented the surf with checks for over $29,000 for the surf and music enrichment centers. So the music we raise here stays here.
Thank you. He's actually related to my husband's family, who are a bunch of talkers. So, hey, we made it. It is almost 9 o'clock. I had no faith in you. You guys proved me wrong. Thank you so much for coming. We have our legislative briefing starting here very soon. We are going to take about 5 to 10 minutes just to allow those who are leaving to leave, to get our robotics crew cleaned out, and then we'll get started with our legislative briefing. Thank you so much.